and welcome.
Boom, what is up guys? My name is Dan, this is MTG Tavern, and you are most certainly welcome. And we're going to be playing some Pioneer Slivers today, and I think Pioneer's been pretty successful so far, and I think Slivers is kind of a deck that people just kind of love, unless your name's Cameron. He'll know what I mean by that. Cameron just doesn't like Slivers. He hates them. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with Slivers. Not even that good, to be honest, but Slivers are always fun. Slivers are always fun, and that's the main thing about playing Magic. Sometimes to have fun, and that's what I really like about this Pioneer format. Modern's been kind of a bit stale for a while now, and kind of a bit obnoxious, and Standard's just been awful for a long time now. Even the Standard pros are saying Standard is shit now. But anyway, let's not mind about Modern or Standard. We're here to look at Pioneer. And it looks like the format's been pretty popular, and today we're playing Slivers. And the big advantage with Slivers, I think it has one big advantage over every other deck in the format. And that big advantage is Sliver Hive. Now, obviously, your Slivers also have to be pretty good as well, and they're not awful. There's better Slivers out there, but some of these were printed in M14 and M15, so they're not as broken as some of the older Slivers. Most of the Slivers aren't that broken anyway, but still. So Sliver Hive. Tap it to add one colour of any colour to mana pool, and we can then use that to cast a Sliver spell. We have 26 Slivers in our deck, and also 4 Metallic Mimics, which are colourless. They're not Slivers in our hand, but they are when they enter the battlefield. But for the purposes of Sliver Hive, we can still cast a Metallic Mimic from the Sliver Hive with the colourless mana. So over half of our deck can be used to cast spells with a Sliver Hive. On top of that, we also get Unclaimed Territory and Mana Confluence. So we've got 12 lands in our deck that can tap for any colour of mana, essentially. Not always, but most of the time, it's a 5-colour mana base. Now, it's worth noting the only white spell we have in our deck is the Sliver Hive Lord in the sideboard. It has 1 pip of white mana. So realistically, we're probably a 4-colour mana base. But again, 4-colour mana base, most decks can't support that in Modern at the minute, outside of the cat combo deck because of Oath of Nissa, which I think should probably be banned in the format, just to, because I don't think it's fair to ban out cat combo, but I don't think it's very fair that deck gets Oath of Nissa, and I think Oath of Nissa is just it's going to be a problem in the format, I think. Yeah. Right, so we have the 12 lands there. We also have 2 Fabled Passage, which can get us a forest, a island, or a swamp. Now, we do have red Slivers in the deck, but to be honest, you don't need to have red Slivers, and we've got like a good 12 lands that cover the red mana cost there, so that should be fine. And those are the only red spells, again, outside of Sliver Hive Lord. Right, so we'll start with the Slivers. Mana base out of the way, let's move on to the more interesting stuff. And we'll start off with the spine of the deck, as we like to call the lords of the deck. Like most decks, most creature decks revolve around, first of all, getting your creatures big enough, and then like adding some other stuff on top of that. So you think of humans, you start off with Thales Lieutenant, Thraben Inspector, not Thraben Inspector, Champion of the Parish, and then like just add all the other abilities on top of that. So the Meddling Mage, the Mantis Rider to get for an extra hasty damage. So our lords are only Predatory Sliver. That's the only lord in this format for Slivers. However, we've pseudo-made an extra 8 lords. Now, the first one is pretty obvious, Metallic Mimic. When a Sliver enters the battlefield with this on the field, we name Sliver with this. That Sliver gets a +1/+1 counter. Also, because it is a Sliver, we'll all get all of the abilities of all the other Slivers. The other lord we have is Leeching Sliver. Now, this is probably reaching a little bit, and it's not raw stats as far as putting a +1/+1 on each of our Slivers. So if we're against an opposing creature deck, then the Leeching Sliver isn't really a lord, but on the assumption our opponent doesn't have creatures out to block with or not too many of them, it essentially is a lord. Because a lord, what would a lord do? It put a +1/+1 on each of your Slivers. When one of your Slivers attacks, you drain your opponent for 1. It's the same thing when it comes to actually attacking your opponent's life total. It's just not the same thing when you both have creatures out, because then your opponent's creatures will probably be bigger, your creatures will die. So that's the base of our deck here. So we need to add abilities with Slivers. Now, if you've never seen Slivers before, usually what your Slivers do, they give all of your Slivers an ability. So this one here gives all of your Slivers flying. Gives all of your Slivers First Strike. Diffusion Sliver makes it so that your opponents have to pay an extra 2 mana to have a spell target one of your Slivers, otherwise that spell will get countered. So now a Fatal Push costs 3 mana rather than just 1. So it's quite disruptive. It's going to slow your opponent's removal down quite a lot. We have, on top of that, a Venom Sliver to give your Slivers Death Touch. Pretty good with First Strike Sliver as well. Deal First Strike damage to your opponent's creature. Death Touch applies, kills their creature. Our Slivers take no damage. We also have some mana with Slivers, so it turns all of our Slivers into Birds of Paradise. Siphon Sliver to give all of our Slivers lifelink, and then Blur Slivers to give them all haste. So we have got some other non-Sliver cards in the deck. First of all, we've got some Gilded Gooses here. Now, I wanted to fill out the 1-drops, and I probably could have put Llanowar Elves in this position, but I don't think I'm going to use this more than once, maybe twice throughout the course of the game as far as producing mana goes. And I think I would prefer to have 1 or 2 activations tops with a choice of colour of mana when we're playing essentially a 4-colour mana base. And if we don't find, say, the any of these 12 lands, then we might be struggling as far as being able to cast multiple spells in our hand. So I think having a Gilded Goose is going to help in certain situations, and I don't think we need to use it more than once or twice. The other reason we've got Gilded Goose in here when it's not a Sliver is that we don't have many 1-drop Slivers in the format, and I want to make sure that I'm able to ramp out. You see there's a lot of 2-drops here, and technically Once Upon a Time is technically about it, it is a 2-drop, even though we sometimes cast it for no mana. We have 24 2-drops here. That's a lot. That's almost that's over a third of our deck is our 2-drops. So I want to make sure that I have a Gilded Goose on 1 ideally, or a 1-drop on 1 and then a 2-drop on 2, and maybe we get lucky and we can, with a Mana of Sliver, outplay 2 2-drops on 3 to really empty our hand as quickly as we possibly can. Because we need to get pressure on the board. We need to grow our team and start putting pressure on opponents' life total, because once they get set up, 1 board wipe kind of knocks us out of the park. So we've also got Once Upon a Times and Collected Companies. Goes without saying, you guys know what those cards do. Once Upon a Time is, I think, again, borderline bannable in this format. I think it's again a very poorly designed card. I don't know what Wizards were thinking along with that and Oko, but they will keep trying to push things, and they're slowly turning into Yu-Gi-Oh. For those of you who don't know Yu-Gi-Oh, I've never played it. From what I've heard, the power creep just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So you can have a card like from this new set, and it's like this card is like insane. It's like one of the best Magic cards ever printed. The next set, this card from this set is completely irrelevant, and that's kind of what feels like Wizards are doing right now, just to get people to buy more packs, unfortunately. Anyway, moving on to the sideboard, let's stop moaning about Wizards. We've got some Leyline of the Voids for Graveyard, Shaper Sanctuaries. If our opponent targets one of our creatures, we get draw a card. So we're net down a creature on board, but we're net up a card. We get to draw a card over... So we don't have the pressure on field, but we're net up a card, so it increases our chance of being able to redeploy and get through those early removal spells. Heroic Intervention give our team hexproof and indestructible, mainly there for board wipes. Sliver Hive Lord, kind of the same thing. If we're against opposing creature decks, then giving our team indestructible is a pretty big deal, actually. It means that we can basically just sit there and wait until we're ready to swing. Our opponent's never going to be able to kill our creatures. Assassin's Trophies for permanents we don't want to see. Pithing Needles for Planeswalkers and Aetherworks Marvel. An additional Siphon Sliver for, again, creature aggro matchups, burn matchups. And one of Obelisk of Erd. I did have this in the main originally when I was playtesting. The thing I found though was that by the time you've got Obelisk of Erd out, you've probably got 3, maybe 4 creatures down. And quite often at that point, you've probably got your opponent to maybe anywhere between 10 and 14 life. So actually tapping your creatures to, and if you don't know what Obelisk of Erd is, you enter the battlefield. Oh, let's bring it over here. Enters the battlefield, you name a creature, those creatures get +2/+2. And it has Convoke, so you're going to tap some lands, tap some creatures to cast this spell. Again, the problem is that you have your opponent between 10 and 14 life by the time you're casting that. And in reality, you could swing for damage this turn, which would be like, say, another 5 points of damage. And then the Obelisk of Erd, like, you could have cast it last turn rather than swinging, but then by the time you would have cast Obelisk of Erd, you didn't need Obelisk of Erd because you were going to win anyway. Does that make sense? So, like, instead of getting for points of damage for casting Obelisk of Erd, and by the time Obelisk of Erd hits the field, we would have won this turn anyway, even without Obelisk of Erd on the field. So it just didn't feel like it was relevant as far as like applying pressure to our opponent. But it's something I want in the sideboard for opposing burn matchups or opposing creature matchups. So we can grow our team a little bit bigger. Right, that is the deck tech. We're playing some Pioneer Slivers. Join me after this. We're going to go... I'll just go and cut the video here and we'll go and find a game. And yeah, join me for some Sliver play. If you guys enjoy this content, give me a like down below, give me a subscribe, and then tell me, do you think Slivers is the best deck ever? I'm going to assume most people are going to say no. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, we are here for a game of Slivers. We're against Maximilian Pegasus. It's a beautiful name. This hand is kind of clunky, I guess, with the double collected company, but I might keep it still, because You know, we get a 1-drop into a 2-drop into, I guess, a 3-drop with Leeching Sliver. It's not literally a 3-drop. We're looking to play 1-drop with Gale Rider Sliver, 2-drop with Metallic Mimic. You know, there's not too much bad we can draw off the top. If we hit more 2-drops, remember, a lot of this deck is 2-drops. Well, we've got the lands for 2-drops. If we draw another Collected Company, that's bad. And I guess some of the 3-drops as well. But that is only now, what, about 4 cards out of the library. And obviously a land is a good top deck as well, because it gets us that a bit closer to Collected Company. So I think I'm going to keep. We are on the play. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's give it a try. I think we're just in a pretty decent situation here where there's almost no bad top decks. Yeah, there's almost no bad top decks. Let's have a look at our deck. And you look at it here, we've got 3 3-drops and 1. So we've got literally 4 cards we just don't want to see. 4 cards we don't want to see. Oh, what's our opponent doing? Are they emerging or something? Looks like they're emerging. There's a land. Hello. Okay, let's go ahead and Metallic Mimic. We're going to name Sliver, surprisingly enough. And we will attack. It's helpful that our Slivers have flying, so we can fly over this Stitcher Supply. We don't really... It's kind of unusual to see this see this one in there. Oh, put a permanent... Sorry, I thought it was one that removes an enchantment. Okay, so now we get to go maybe Leeching Sliver. Maybe we get lucky and hit a Mana of Sliver or a 1-drop next turn. Looks like this Sultai. I think it's Sultai Emerge. Might be an okay matchup for us. There's no way we're blocking this. This is coming all the way through. We are not blocking that one, sir. You can have that one. I guess the good thing for us here is this is a reasonably... Hello. This is a reasonably good matchup for us in the way that they don't have much removal. Let's go ahead and... Let's go ahead and Predatory Sliver here, I think. I guess gets a little bit bigger. Getting for 5 points of damage. This is a lot of pressure. And this is the good thing about this deck, is that if your opponent doesn't have a lot of removal, unless they have got removal, so I assume this is Assassin's Trophy. No, Grizzly Salvage. Okay, sure. What are they going to hit? So they've got the Elder Deep Fiends there. They have a Wretched Griff. Could be a reasonable amount of trouble if our opponent chains together Elder Deep Fiends. What do they put in their hand? Is it the Wretched Griff? The Elder Deep Fiend goes to the graveyard. They took the Satyr Wayfinder? What did they take? Oh, they took Watery Grave. Never mind. Okay, sounds good. But we might potentially have Lethal next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, 1 point of... Yeah, we actually need 1 more point of damage for Lethal next turn. One more point of damage will do it. Because this will... This essentially gives all our Slivers a +1. So, because it will drain our opponent for 1 for each Sliver that attacks. So there'll be 3 Slivers that will be attacking. Again, there's no way we're blocking this, not in a month of Sundays. We're not going to help you put things in your graveyard. I guess my opponent gets Haunted Dead next turn, though, so it's not guaranteed. But it's just not going to happen, is our opponent's going to just animate Haunted Dead and then life's bad. Ooh. Okay, well, let's go ahead and... We may as well Leeching Sliver here. Get him for some damage. We'll probably drain our opponent for quite a lot here. But then the slight worry is Elder Deep Fiends do come down now. That is a slight worry. Haunted Dead's going to go... do they have any Prized Amalgams in their hand? That is the good thing to pitch to the Haunted Dead. Prized Amalgams go to the graveyard when you activate Haunted Dead's ability. And then the Prized Amalgam see the Haunted Dead come back to the battlefield. Anyway, so how's everyone doing? You enjoying this format? Oh, that has got to feel bad. Look at what they just discarded. Extended Mind Bandit and an Elder Deep Fiend. It feels like our opponent's got too many Emerge spells in their deck. I have played with the Emerge deck quite a bit, actually. And it looks like I've got way too many emerge spells in that deck. You don't need this many emerge spells. You typically only want this one, and maybe a Wretched Griff in the main. You don't need stuff like this. That's a sideboard card, if anything. A Stitcher's Supplier. There's a Narcomoeba. It's going to help our opponent out a bit. But again, there's a lot of lands and stuff gone to their graveyard. I'm not a big fan of the Sultai Merge build, because you have to kind of go down the Narcomoeba route, and you have to rely on a bit of luck with the Satyr Wayfinders and the Grizzly Salvages. Putting the correct cards into your graveyard, and that's not always going to work out too well. Because sometimes you end up in situations where you draw the wrong cards, and... Well, we never did actually get to our last... Let's go Leeching Sliver number 2. We never did actually get to our last mana for Collected Company. But again, that's what I said. We had so many good things we could draw. Oh, they got an Elder Deep Fiend. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I guess they can just Elder Deep Fiend off of another Elder Deep Fiend next turn. Grizzly Salvage. There's a prized amalgam for them. So the problem our opponent has, they have to have another Elder Deep Fiend in their hand. We're not going to block because I think our opponent probably has the... what's the spell called? The Creeping Chills in the deck, so we don't want to help them get to Creeping Chill stuff. Oh, that's not a bad top deck. Let's go to combat. See, our opponent has the extra Elder Deep Fiend. That's not a bad spell to draw, because now we can just play this down and maybe trade with one of their Elder Deep Fiends next turn. I'm going to assume they have another one in hand. Looks like they do. Okay, that's, pretty annoying. The problem is... I guess they still have the Narcomoeba, so they're not just dead, are they? Okay. So the question is, do we want to attack here? And I think we do... Or is there actually any point in attacking? I don't think there's any point in attacking, is there? Because... I think we want to have blockers up. And if our opponent has another Elder Deep Fiend, then we're probably dead anyway. 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess we're not dead on board as such. Let's just make sure we have a blocker up next turn. I don't think we need to block with this. I'd rather not block with this because it has flying anyway. So let's just go with the Venom Sliver to give our Slivers Death Touch. So, and we got there. Sweet. Yeah, our opponent had like... They found 3 Elder Deep Fiends, so if they found another one, that would have been a bit fortunate. But again, we did say that, all of our top decks outside of 4 of the cards were good top decks there. So, and we just ran pretty well. The opening hand looked a bit dodgy, I guess, but it wasn't that bad. Right, let's bring in Ley Lines. Ley Lines seem okay for this matchup, I think. Sliver Hivelord might also be okay. Siphon Sliver might be alright as well, I guess. I'm contemplating an Obelisk of Erd, but the thing is, they might play Kozilek's Return, which can deal 5 damage to all of our creatures. The problem is it has to be in their graveyard, so I guess we're kind of covering that with Leyline anyway. We could bring in Heroic Intervention, but I don't know if we want to. I think that'll do it. I don't think we need the Assassin's Trophies. I could be wrong, but I don't think we need it. Let's consider a Heroic Intervention for now. Let's see if there's anything better we can take out. So, typically speaking, I usually like to take out the Once Upon a Times in this deck first, because I don't want to take out too many Slivers, but at the same time I don't want to get rid of Collected Company because that's our way of rebuilding. So there's a reasonable chance our opponent brings stuff like Bontu's Last Reckoning, maybe a Languish, who knows what they're going to bring in. 4 more cards need to go though, so maybe we don't want the Siphon Sliver, maybe we don't need the Haste Sliver as well. We've got the Sliver Hivelord here instead, and maybe we just don't want these Heroic Interventions for now at least. Well, the Heroic Intervention and Leyline seem to go pretty well together. Let's trim them for now. And we can consider them for game 2 or game 3 if it goes that far. I guess the diffusion slivers might be worth cutting as well, because our opponent's not going to have too much removal, so giving our stuff a little bit of protection doesn't really matter. But this hand seems pretty good, actually. We've got loads of... Well, we've got 3 lands, we've got some ramp, we've got 2 pieces of ramp here as well. And I guess if our opponent is playing any kind of removal, then it's going to be blanked for quite a while. Let's go with the Blooming Marsh into the Gilded Goose. The only downside of this hand is that at the minute we don't have any... Well, I guess we have the Mana Confluence, but we don't have any of the good lands that tap for any colour of mana, like the Sliver Hive or the Unclaimed Territories. Nothing going on for our opponent with it. I guess they could have Grizzly Salvage on end step. It is a... Let's shock ourselves here. It is a... So we're going to go with Diffusion Sliver. Now, you know what? You could make the argument here that I probably should have gone Manawef Sliver, because at the minute we can Coco next turn. And then that way we can Coco, but if our opponent has a piece of removal for the Gilded Goose, then we're not going to be able to Coco next turn. Whereas if we play the Manawef Sliver out, our opponent's going to have 2 pieces of removal. Yeah, looks like they have the Grizzly Salvage. What have they got? Stitcher's Supplier, Haunted Dead. LD Fiend in the land. What are they going to take? I assume it would be Stitcher's Supplier or the land. Well, it definitely won't be the Haunted Dead or the Prized Amalgam. That's a pretty good start for our opponent. They took the LD Fiend. That was a pretty good Grizzly Salvage for them. And that's what I mean. Like, sometimes these Grizzly Salvages and stuff like that go really well, and you hit, like almost perfectly there. Like, they probably would have liked to have kept a land, I guess, and had something else, but certainly not a bad one. The good news for us is, though, that if we can keep a relatively healthy life total, we might be okay. I think here I'm actually going to go with... Let's go with a mana... I kind of want to get all my slivers out here. And thinking about it, it's going to be hard for them to tap down our team with Diffusion Slivers out. So maybe the Diffusion Slivers do have a purpose here. So our opponent plays the Elder Deep Fiend. They have to pay an extra 2 mana for each time they target it, because it's abilities as well. So these essentially do have hexproof. So what we're able to do here as well is we can go a blue and a blue. I don't want to use this food token just yet for a Diffusion Sliver number 2. I guess we could crack this for a Striking Sliver now, but I'm a little bit worried about... I guess if we're worried about board wipes, we're probably dying to a board wipe anyway, so let's just do that. Let's get a Striking Sliver down. And then this way, if our opponent does go for a an Elder Deep Fiend on the next turn, we do have the mana to go Collected Company anyway. So it's not a complete disaster. If our opponent activates his Haunted Dead now, this is actually a misplay from our opponent. It's something actually, like, it's harder to remember on MTGO than it is in paper. Oh, they're going Grizzly Salvage anyway, never mind. I was about to say, usually you want to activate the Haunted Dead on your opponent's second main phase. The reason being is because the Prized Amalgam comes back on the next end step, so you want to do it before the end step. Because if you do it on your opponent's end step, it then has to wait until your next end step to come back. So you miss out on 3 points of damage. Don't know what our opponent took. Don't really care too much, to be honest. A Leyline would have been backbreaking for them here, wouldn't it? Shame we don't have one. Okay. A Mana Confluence, not bad. I think we can attack here. I think it's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a stupid idea to attack here. And our opponent would only get back a 1-1. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack. I think it's fine. So they can get back Prized Amalgams and such things. The thing is, the Prized Amalgams come back tapped. The Stitches, the Haunted Deads come back tapped. The Scrap Heap Scrounger can't. It can't block, so it's kind of irrelevant. And because our Slivers have First Strike at the minute, at least, then the Spirit token they get back won't actually do anything. Unless they have a piece of... Well, they can't have removal because we have hexproof. Yep. First strike damage happens. Our opponent still takes 3. Or at least first strike damage should happen. Oh no! Wow, they have the Abrupt Decay. That's pretty fortunate. Okay, let's go for Collected Company in response. See if we can hit a Lord. We do have to hit a Lord here, though. Yep. And we hit Predatory Sliver. Perfect. And... let's go for a Metallic Mimic. Grow our team a little bit bigger over the course of the game. The creatures on the field don't get any bigger now, but that was a bit fortunate for us. At the same time, maybe a bit fortunate for our opponents. So yeah, taking out the Abrupt Decaying the Striking Sliver doesn't really work here. A bit fortunate we hit our Predatory Sliver, because we needed to hit exactly that to save the Diffusion Sliver. Although, to be honest, I don't really care too much about the Diffusion Sliver. It's already done its job, I guess. Maybe. We don't know. I think a Gale Rider Sliver would be nice right now. Thing is, our opponent's in a kind of a weird position with their Elder Deep Fiends now, because they can tap down our team and pay an extra 4 mana to tap down 1 creature. And they can tap down our lands. The problem is we have mana dorks. Like, all of our creatures are... all of our slivers are bigger now. Wretched Griff, okay. Wretched Griff's nice. Draws them a card, gets the Haunted back in the graveyard. I guess they can just, like, grow the board. If that's their plan. The problem is eventually we're going to find something with... we're going to be able to give our slivers flying. I guess a board wipe would be kind of back-breaking. A Sliver Hive Lord right now would just be game. That is not a Sliver Hive Lord. That is definitely not a card we want. Okay, let's go ahead and just play this out. And pass the turn to our opponent. We can also just activate this, I guess, this turn and make a food token. Which gives us the ability to gain some life, or maybe we can get some extra mana next turn, although we don't actually need it. Haunted Dead happens. Yep. You may have a spirit. Going on up to the spirit in the sky. It's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Do they even have that song in America? I don't know. I know it's in the UK. I need to find out. Americans, tell me. I think most of my viewer base is American. Ah! Oh, the golden bird, the goose, is blocking your spirit. That's the spirit, Goosey. You can do it. Rather loosely. Slut of a goose. Okay. This is such a weird game. It's so weird. The thing is, like, our goose is basically stifling our opponent's ability to attack at the minute. Like, the Wretched Griff is, like, attacking for 3, but we're going to gain 3 a turn with Gilded Goose. And they can't really attack with the Spirit because the goose... Like, our opponent's game plan at the minute is getting stifled by a goose. A goose. I wonder why our opponent didn't attack with these guys last turn. Or this turn. Like, they don't really care if this goes to their graveyard. They're happy trading a Sliver for one of these. Oh, what have you got, opponent? Oh no, what are you going to return back to the top of our library? You dick! Has this got flying? It doesn't have flying. Okay, let's activate this. Now. I don't think I really want to draw this at the minute. It's not really a cheap... maybe we do want it. No, we don't want it. It's fine. Put it on top of our library. I guess it worked out pretty well for our opponent here, didn't it? Shuffle it away. We don't want that shit. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Our turn. That works for now. Our slivers get a little bit bigger. Also becomes a little bit dangerous for our opponent to even attack at the minute, to be honest. Becomes a little bit more dangerous, because if you attack with these two guys, you're taking a hell of a lot more damage on the way back. Please don't have Abrupt Decay. That would be kind of shitty. Sata Wayfinder. Okay, what are they going to return? What shall you return? They put no cards in their hand. That seems like a bad idea. You could have had an Elder Deep Fiend. Or do we not want Elder Deep Fiend? I would assume that is something you want. I don't know. I'm not a genius by any stretch of the imagination, but I've always been of the assumption that's usually what people want. It's really dangerous for our opponent to attack with the Spirit Token here. I mean, I guess they might have an Abrupt Decay in hand, but if we top deck the Flying Sliver, I think they lose on the spot. They would have, what, just the Narcomoeba in the air to do anything with. It'd be nice if we could find a Sliver. Well, I don't want to find a Sliver Hive off the top, but if we are going to find a land, it would be nice to have a Sliver Hive, I guess. Let's crack this food token. Well, god damn it. I don't want this Gilded Goose. At least it brings along a food token, I guess. We gain some life. It kind of, in a weird way, it kind of fogs our opponent, at least for next turn. Kind of. We still probably take some amount of damage. Okay. That is not in the slightest bit scary. A little bit concerned about the 5/4. It doesn't have flying, but I don't really want to give up a Sliver at the minute. But I guess if it gets rid of what's on the field, then it's probably okay. If we just get rid of that, it's probably not the end of the world. Okay, let's go ahead and block your spirits. We don't care about illusions. Illusions can stay for now. We're down to 5, but we're going to gain 3. Oh no, we're down to 7. What the hell am I talking about? I thought this was a 5/4. It's not. It's a 3/4. Okay, end step. I think it's a mistake for our opponent to play that land there. Probably. Okay, let's crack this food token. We sure as hell don't need this to produce mana. We need it to produce. We need you to shit out life totals, please, opponent. Opponent, goosey. Anything good? Give me something good. 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 What are you looking to do with this, opponent? Tap down some lands? I will just activate this in response. Sounds good. Oh, man. Really? Okay, well, let's... What do I not want to block with? I don't think I want to block with the Lords, even though our Lords are a little bit bigger. I guess I'll just tap this one and this one. I don't want to lose life to cast this Sliver. Okay, over to our opponent. We're not attacking. That Elder Deep Fiend is a bit of a problem. It's pretty big. I don't even know if it's something we want to block, but we might kind of have to. I think my opponent's like being really, really cautious here. And we have to take the damage, unfortunately. I wonder if it was a mistake to use my lands to do this last turn. Probably. We like took an extra point of damage we didn't have to take there. A Narcomoeba. Well, god damn it. Okay. Let's get some life. Our turn. Yeah. It's about time we top decked it, in fairness. So our opponent's got 1 flyer. Let's just say they block this. We have plenty of damage. GG, opponents. Come on, Slivers. Let's do it. Attack. We have flying. GG. I think we won. So we took down a game. We'll probably play another one, and then we'll call it a day. Maybe we'll go up to 3 matches. I don't know. But hope you guys enjoyed that game of Slivers. We'll be back for another game shortly. Okay. Match numero 2 of Slivers. Hopefully this one goes as well as last time, but you never know. Things could go badly. Let's keep this one. We get an opening. Once upon a time. Uh-oh. Is that a turn 1 Totsies? Ah, butter my ass. Okay, man, so let's resolve. If they want to take Once Upon a Time, then so be it. We could cast Once Upon a Time in response, but, like, we'll see what our opponent chooses here. I mean, we've got kind of everything we need in hand as far as the mana base goes, so yeah, I guess that's probably smart for our opponent to take that one. Well, we're going to cast this next turn. I guess we should just cast it during our next turn, because it might make a difference as to what we get, depending on what we draw, so we may as well wait for Once Upon a Time. It'd be kind of annoying if you top deck another Once Upon a Time. That'd be kind of like, ugh, don't really want that one now. Mana Confluence! Okay, let's take a... Ooh, let's take a Metallic Mimic. Okay, let's go Unclaimed Territory. We'll go Sliver, and we're going to give our Slivers first strike. Do you want to have a fight, opponents? Well, we get to slap you first, bitch. How you doing, Nick Munich? I don't know. I didn't even know what I said there. What the hell was that? How you doing, Munich Casual? If you're watching this in the future, I would be very surprised. Oh, it's Esper. Ugh. Esper Control. Ugh. Blah. This might be a problem for us. We have the Diffusion Sliver, though, to lean on next turn, I guess. So hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Fatal Push. At least not for now. And god damn it, they better not have a board wipe, because that would be even better. I'm going to play the... even though we have the Metallic Mimic, we're going to play this out first because it's more important that we have protection from... their, at least for now, have protection from their targeted removal. I think we might be struggling in this one, to be honest. Looks, our opponent's deck's probably going to have a very high amount of interaction and probably have a decent amount of board wipes in the 75 as well. But they probably have Supreme Verdict main. Probably not all 4 copies, but certainly a decent amount of main board copies. Okay, search for Ascanter for our opponent. Don't know what took him so long. That was not really... No land. Oh dear, that's probably bad for them. It's probably good... It's really good for us because it means targeted removal no longer does anything. Ooh, that means we get to double spell this turn. Hello. Colour me interested. Okay, let's go ahead and... Let's go... Yeah, we're still going to go Metallic Mimic, I think. We're going to name a Sliver. And then we're going to go with a Gale Rider Sliver. So now we get to fly over. Get in for Juan. Juan is the man. And our opponent gets to potentially get pretty close to flipping a Search for Ascanter. Oh, look. Wizards, fap yourself off. What the very... Oh, look, it's very... Oh. Damn it. That sucks. I kind of wanted to keep my Leeching Sliver. I assume they're going to take a Leeching Sliver. I can't see why you take Venom Sliver here. I assume they're not playing many creatures. No land for them again, though. A Gilded Goose. Okay, we will attack. Go for 5. Let's go with one of these. Whoa, 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 this one. Make sure we tap our mana correctly, because the Gilded Goose is not a Sliver. He could be a Sliver, though. They basically look the same, don't they? Okay, opponent, over to you. Ah, we got there. We actually took a game off a control deck. I mean, it took them getting mana screwed, but who cares? Right, bring in the Sliver Hive Lord, and... I don't think we want the Siphon Slivers. I don't think they really achieve much. We'll bring in the Assassin's Trophies because of their Planeswalkers, much like the Beathing Needles. We definitely want the Shaper Sanctuaries. And I think that will probably do it. Again, we're usually going to take out the Once Upon a Times first, and then some amount of collected companies, but I don't think I want to take out collected companies in this particular matchup. So we want to take out stuff that isn't going to be that relevant, so maybe get rid of a Venom Sliver, Striking Sliver, but then how many Slivers do we have left? Not a huge amount. Let's take out a collected company or two then. Maybe just one for now. And take out Coco again. Whatever. We'll see how it goes. How bad can it be? Right, Munich Casual. Ooh, this hand deploys itself pretty quick. Fuck it, gamble. We'll gamble. We'll go for it. Viewership, we are going for it. We do want to hit land drops off the top, though. That is one thing we definitely want to do. Oh, that's not bad either. That's not awful. So we'll yield through this turn. A search for Ascanter for our opponent. Ooh. I don't know if I want another one of them. Okay, let's just go with the Leeching Sliver for now. There's no particular reason why I'm doing it in this order. In fact, you know what? This is actually a pun. I probably should have gone Predatory Sliver first. The reason is that our opponent is probably playing into Detention Sphere. And if they get a Detention Sphere next turn, they're probably going to take the Predatory Sliver. So, I don't know. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Land. Okay. Let's just go Metallic Mimic and see where we are from here. All Slivers get -2, -2. Well, ain't that annoying? Ain't that annoying? Worth bearing that in mind for future for Predatory Sliver purposes. Oath of Kaya. What does it do again? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Our opponent's on mono removal deck. It's kind of surprising they lost a single game in that respect. Okay. Let's do this and pass. Unfortunately, we're just kind of not drawing any lands, and we could kind of use lands. Man, our opponent really is on mono boring deck, aren't they? Okay. That's hella good for them. Whenever we attack Jace, deals 2 damage to us and we take and they gain 2 life. That's pretty good. My god, can we please just draw a fucking land? Come on now! I don't think I'm asking too much. Typical of blue-white control decks. You know, I know this is an Esper, but it's blue-white, splashing black for some things. They're going to try and bore us to death. Bore. Let's go ahead and Mano F Sliver. Is it going to resolve? Opponent. Come on now. Fatal Push, you got it. There you go, dude. Okay, my opponent can have Fatal Push, or they can have Hero's Downfall plus Jace. They're going to take the Hero's Downfall, okay. I think this game's over. I mean, our opponent just drew too well. We got man screwed. Yeah, let's just concede this one. Unfortunately, lands apparently are a premium INTGO. We'll move on to game 3, where maybe we get a bit more luck. Maybe the luck will be a bit more on our side. Definitely bringing back in his Cocos. I think it was a mistake to take those out, wasn't it, really? That was a pretty poor idea by me, I think. We probably have to bring in Heroic Interventions as well. The problem is, I think I'm going to take out these Pithy Needles, because I think if it gets to the position where we can't really... if we can't attack the Planeswalkers and we need to use Pithy Needle, we're probably losing anyway. I'm probably going to take out the Assassin's Trophies as well, and just hope that we don't need them. We're going to get our Slivers down, we're going to try and protect our Slivers. That's the plan. That's the plan. Hopefully it works. Just have a good hand here, please. Please, this one time, have a good hand. Well, it has a Diffusion Sliver. The problem is we have 2 of the Fabled Passage here, which don't really do anything. But I think it's still probably a keep. Hopefully we top deck a land off the top, which comes out untapped. It's pretty unlucky for us that we found both Fabled Passages as our land drops. But there you go. I think this hand is just too good to put back, though. We have a protection spell here. Let's just pass to our opponent. Let's go and get that Island. So make sure we can play that Gale Rider next turn. Land, please! Yeah! Now we play this one instead. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have the Cry of the Carnarium or whatever the hell that card was called, because the Heroic Intervention doesn't actually do anything, because it just shrinks their toughness down. So hopefully they don't have that. That would be pretty annoying. A Gilded Goose. I think I'm down for that, actually. I can go Gilded Goose here. Let's go for a Goose. Let's go for a Gale Rider Sliver and pass to our opponents. Let's see if they have Cry the Carnarium. If they do, we are probably fudged. Please don't hit a land drop. Well, they can't have Cry Carnarium because it's double black now, so at least we've got that going for us. If nothing else, we have that. Narset. Cast down. Okay. Let's go and get a forest. Something good. Something kind of good. Please give me something good. Give me something good. Give me something good. Okay, not bad. Let's go with a Diffusion Sliver. And we'll attack the Narset so she doesn't get to activate again. And I think we're going to hold up Heroic Intervention. It's going to make it really hard for our opponent to target any of our creatures now. So we've got the Heroic Intervention for a one-time savior. We need to avoid the Cry of the Carnarium. For this turn, at least. Oop, somebody's home. Search for the Azcanta. Okay, our opponent had nothing. Mana Confluence. Okay, I think, you know what, we're in a position where if our opponent has the proverbial it, then they have it. So let's just go ahead and get our stuff down. This one and this one. We'll take this turn to only get in for a little bit of damage to this one. Then we may as well get rid of Narset, I guess. Get in for 2. We're going to hold up 2 Mana Dorks here for Heroic Intervention. Put our opponent down to 14. We can present potentially lethal next turn if we top deck something splendido. So hopefully they go for a Supreme Verdict here. That's what we want to see. Supreme Verdict, please, opponent. Supreme Verdict, not Cry of the Carnarium, because that would be pretty depressing for us. So what would we need to off the top? Like a... What would we need? A Lord would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a whole bunch of Drakes. Yeah, a Lord will do it. I guess from that point of view... Well, it has to be exactly one of these. It can't be a Metallic Mimic. It has to be an actual Lord. Predatory Sliver or another Leeching Sliver will do it. So now I'm a little bit concerned about Settle the Wreckage here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with some of the less important creatures here. So I don't think having flying is that important. So I'm just going to get in with these two, I think. Let's just get in with these two. I don't think they have Settle, but we'll just get in for 2 for now. We'll chip away while we can. I think the hope is if we can just chip away next turn as well, then even if they have Settle the Wreckage, by the time they cast Settle the Wreckage, we would have attacked, so then the triggers here would have resolved. So our opponents put a Elspeth to the bottom. What have they got? Teferi. That resolves. That doesn't actually do anything. That might be... Yeah, as I say, that loses them the game. That is the worst thing they could have cast there, because now if I'm my opponent there, I don't cast this. If I have this, I don't cast it. The reason I don't cast it is because, or at least if I would need to have 4 mana left up afterwards. I think my opponent massively misplayed there. It's pretty obvious what I'm playing around. By not attacking with everything here, I'm obviously playing around Settle the Wreckage. There is nothing else I'm playing around. And you must notice that as your opponent, surely. And you know that unless I top deck another one of these, chances are I'm going to just play around it again. So if you're playing stuff like this, just hold up Settle the Wreckage, even if you don't have it in hand. It's kind of, I don't want to call it a next level thing, it's like I'm a genius, but like you sometimes need to read what your opponent's doing. Like, don't just look at the cards in your hand thinking, well, this doesn't do anything, so therefore I must do something else. Like, no, play to the board, play the game. You're not just playing like the cards in your hand versus the cards your opponent's got. It's a mind game. Otherwise, I mean, you may be playing like football or something. Whether that be soccer football or American football or what? Anyway, guys, it looks like we're 2-0 up. We're going to go and play one more. And hopefully we can go for a 3-0 with Slivers, eh? Sounds good. See you guys in a bit. Final game. We're going for a 3-0. We're against Telboski. And, well, you know what? I might keep this opening hand because of the collected company. It might be a bit risky. But, you know what? We're gamblers here. You know what? We didn't get to 2-0 by doing nothing. We beat Emerge and Esper Control. Yeah, things looking splendido for us, I guess. Okay, let's start with an Overgrown Tomb, but we're going to play it tapped on this occasion, I think. And we can go for a Blooming Marsh next turn. Maybe. Uh-oh. That means they have cheap, efficient removal. Once upon a time... Hello? That is a lot of lands. Let's take a... I might take a Blur Sliver here, actually. Let's take a Blur Sliver. Okay, let's just go and play Mana Weft out. So the reason I'm taking Mana Weft... Sorry, Blur Sliver. Is because... we might want to go turn... If our opponent has a removal spell for Mana Weft here, it means we can go turn 3 Blur Sliver, and then turn 4 Collected Company. We get to just attack straight away with the Slivers. We don't have to hang around. We don't have to be try and be Trixie Dixie. Our opponent is a boring person who insists on playing removal. This might be a rough matchup for us. I'm going to assume this is like Is It Drakes, something like that. And then... Man, we're getting the people who like taking ages tonight. What is going on? Come on, opponents. Come on up. There you go. Okay, now that we drew the Mana Weft Sliver, I'm still going to play the Blur Sliver. Shall not make a mistake. Let's see if our opponent has that piece of 1 mana removal again. Looks like they don't have it right now. We will attack. Does it connect? It does. Okay, opponent, your turn. So if our opponent taps out for anything this turn, we'll probably go for the Collected Company main phase. If they don't tap out for anything, we'll probably just hold a Collected Company. Okay, our opponent is not doing anything. Die Fusion Sliverinos. Attack, get it for 2. Okay, opponent. Oh, they're going to draw 2 and discard 2. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should have Collected Company in response there. I still get to, yeah, my opponent hasn't actually cast it yet. I'm going to Collected Company in response. Is this worth it, actually? We have the Diffusion Sliver here. Is this worth it? Let's go for it, I guess. We're going to cast it anyway. We may as well do it while our opponent's tapped out. Let's go for Collected Company. Oh, we don't make it. Damn it. Wow, if we hit 2 Predatory Slivers there, that would have been pretty nice. Let's go... Metallic Mimic and Predatory, I guess. Try and grow our team. See if we can get them out of these burn ranges. Give our opponent even more choices. What do they want to go for? They are going to go for the Haste Sliver and try and prevent that sweet, sweet damage. Okay, over to your opponent. Man, if we hit double Lord there, that would have been so sweet. Fang in the ice. Okay. Yeah, this one seems like a really rough matchup for us. I don't see how we win this. Like, they've got so much cheap removal. That helps. That does help out quite a lot. Man, I really want this Haste Sliver right now. Ah! Okay, let's go to Fusion. Resolves. Okay, let's go... Gale Rider? Resolves! Let's go Mana Weft! I'm going to assume it resolves. Okay, let's get in for some damage. I guess we can present Lethal next turn. The problem is I can't see our opponent not having 3 non-creature spells here. Strategic planning. We are presenting Lethal on board. I think our opponent... They haven't played a land yet, so... I'm going to assume that they're going to cast spells on our turn, and we're going to get Shrek'd. Okay. That land is definitely not a good draw. Attack. What have you got, opponent? Haggle. Okay. And then a Fiery Temper. Yeah, pretty sweet run of cards for our opponent, but like I said, this is going to be a tough matchup. This might be the end of our winning streak, I'm afraid. Okay. The good news is, if there is any good news, the good news is we can deploy a hand pretty fast here. So let's just go ahead and lead with a Diffusion Sliver into a Mana Weft Sliver, I get. Oh, no, no, no. Dan, what are you doing? Play Metallic Mimic first. You always play Metallic Mimic first, you dumbass. Okay, go Metallic Mimic. Call it a Sliver, shall we? And then let's go for... oh, we missed out on some points of damage there. Okay, let's go Predatory Sliver, I guess. And heal through the turn. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, the good news is at least the thing in the ice is already flipped now, so it can't flip again. They can flip another one though. Okay. What else have you got? Thrill of Possibility. Okay. I'll be very surprised if they don't attack. Ooh, does that do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they're going to be 1 damage short. No. Wow. Well, that sucks a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they're going to be 1 damage short. Wow. I guess we're just playing it out, and then if they have enough removal spells in hand, they have it. Give our creatures flying. That really sucks. Yeah, they just need like 2 non... I guess they need 3 actually. It makes it a little bit harder for them. They do need 3 non-creature spells to flip this. And they can't flip this and it doesn't matter. They've got... They do get redraws. I assume with their deck. I don't know. But they've only got 2 cards in hand plus their draw step. So you never know. Maybe they fail. Why are they conceding? The game's not over. Am I wrong? Is it 9 damage? 2, 5... They conceded that way too early. The game's not over. Okay. Maybe they just have lands in hand or something? I don't know. Right. Let's... I think we have to bring in ley lines. Probably want the Assassin's Trophies as well. We'll bring in Shaper's Sanctuaries, but I don't think we want Heroic Interventions because they just have too much targeted removal. I think it's going to be quite hard to keep our stuff on the field. Sliver Hive Lords might be okay, I guess. Right, as per usual, Once Upon a Time is going to come out because we have more important things to come in the way of Shaper's Sanctuaries and Assassin's Trophies. I think the Striking Sliver can go. I like the Haste Sliver in this one. I also like the Venom Sliver. That sounds pretty good. You know, I don't think I care about the ley lines, to be honest. I think they have Arclight Phoenixes in their deck, but I don't think it's really something we can play around. Let's get rid of it. Actually, I think I like the Siphon Slivers here. Gaining, if you can get it for maybe just 1. Let's cut a Coco. I think if you can get in for like some amount of damage with a Siphon Sliver, that's pretty important. Like, it might buy you a couple of turns to rebuild the board after a Thing in the Ice flips. Okay, double Shaper's Sanctuary. Let's give it a try. We're here to try things. Opponent's going for the old Sorcery Speed Opt. Not even bothered about holding up. Not even bothered about holding up Spell Pierce. Okay, opponent, your turn. Would be nice if we could draw a different land off the top. Oh no, they got Arclight Phoenix. Damn it. Oh well. Things are not looking all good in the hood, as they say. Things looking even less good in the hood. Let's go for a Metallic Mimic here. I think we're just a little bit too slow here. We were hoping to find lands. And looks like our opponent's got in a position where they don't even need to find any removal, so maybe the Shaper's Sanctuaries were a bad idea. Maybe my opponent just like Just found the kind of hand that just happens to be pretty good against what we've got going on over here. So maybe we've just been a bit unlucky. I'm not going to say my opponents got lucky. It's not a case of, you know, they lucked out. It's just sometimes that's the way it happens, isn't it? Like sometimes you end up having like all the counter spells in hand, and your opponent gets like a whole bunch of creatures down early against a burn deck. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go for the goose. Let's get in for 2 points of damage. Pass to our opponent. So we can go probably double mana with Sliver next turn. I don't think I'm reluctant to put the Fusion Slivers down, but I kind of want to draw a card, so I kind of want to entice my opponent to take out one of my creatures here, but I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. Bum 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 bum. Double arc like Phoenix, you say? Are we dead yet? Well, if we're going to survive, that is not a good start. That is a very bad start. Okay. I think we might be dead. Why wouldn't you just target me? I'm confused. Why wouldn't you just target me with your Wild Slash? I'm really confused. Could have just targeted me. I think he would have been okay. Let's just let it ride for now. I mean, I know like this is on 1, so there's a very good chance the Slivers are getting returned to our hand next turn, but then so there Arclight Phoenix potentially as well. As a land, it's way too late though. It's so late. Okay, let's get in for some damage. Let's just pass to our opponent. I guess we have to block. I mean, we can't really win here anyway. It's like our opponent just found a really sweet position where we've kind of had everything. And like I said before, it's not really lucky. I'm not going to sit here and cry luck or anything like that. It's just a case of they found exactly what they needed. We haven't found what we needed. That's the way it goes. I think if we can find an Assassin's Trophy off the top, we've got a chance of winning, but even that's probably not likely. I know it's taking our opponent so long to do stuff. There you go. Treasure Cruise. Okay. Makes sense. It makes sense. I personally... I don't know if it's worth it. Surely they would have been better off to just wait until next turn, because now we get to redeploy our creatures. Guess it's still fine for them, though. They're probably okay with that. I think we need to find a... we realistically need to find a land off the top to have any chance at all. Oh my god. Okay. Actually, we can see this one. Yeah, unfortunately, the mana screw is real. You know, I guess it's only turn 6, but it would have been nice to have drawn a land. We didn't draw a third land until last turn, so maybe a bit unlucky. Let's bring in those ley lines. Let's take out these Cocos. And we'll get rid of a... I think a striking sliver really achieves... actually, maybe it does. Let's get rid of a goose, actually. Let's get rid of a goose. That's just typically my logic, you know. We don't find any land, so I'm going to take out a mana dork. This hand is super risky, but I think I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to take a huge risk on this one. We have the Leyline in our opening hand. We have a land. We need another land, but at least we have a land. It's a start. It does something. I think... So, I've always used this logic with Magic that when you've got this opening hand, that if things just line up correctly, and let's just talk about what's going to line up correctly here. We're going to probably fetch on turn 1, even though we do want to find a land on turn 2. So we're going to thin our library of a land, I know, but I want to make sure that if we find a land on 2, I'm able to get down a creature on 2. So even though we're slightly reducing our chances by fetching with Fabled Passage, I want to make sure we have that untapped mana. But we've got the Leyline of the Void in our hands. We've got the graveyard dealt with. Okay, so that's one part of their deck probably dealt with reasonably well. We're such a dog in this matchup, I think, that I need to take any slight kind of advantage we have with the Leyline. And let's think about it. What do we really need for this hand to work? A land. Okay, we're going to have 19 lands going into turn 2. There's going to be 19 lands available. So you're talking about a 1 in 3 chance of getting the exact card we want. Our opponent's also down to 5 cards, so that's a bit fortunate for us. Let's go ahead with a Fabled Passage. And I'm just going to go ahead and fetch now and get a... I think I might actually just get a blue source of mana here over the green. That might be risky though, but let's just do it. Because I'm definitely going with the Diffusion Sliver first, and there's more green sources of mana we can draw over blue sources anyway. Okay, our opponent's got a slightly slower start as well. But I bet they have lands in hand, whereas we don't. Land, or at least a 1-drop. Land! We got there. Perfect. Okay. So now our stuff should be untargetable for a while. The problem is now we want to end this game. We want the game over with. So I think since this has hit the field now, hoping our opponent misses a land drop next turn, we get to go Manaweth Sliver. Or at least hit land and don't have the thing in the ice, please. No thing in the ice. I was hoping to hit another land there, but I think that might be a little bit greedy to do that, or to ask for that. Let's go ahead and... You know what? I'm going to go Diffusion Sliver number 2 here. Hope my opponent doesn't have any kind of counter spell. It's going to be virtually impossible for them to target any of our slivers now. Even in such a low to the ground deck like this. The fact they have to find now 5 mana to shock 1 creature is quite a big deal. So we just need to avoid Thing in the Ice. I think we've got virtually everything else covered. Now we get to go Manaweth for double. Maybe we get to go Manaweth Sliver into Predatory Sliver next turn. Your opponent's going to draw 2, discard 2. Take a look what they get rid of. Charter Course and a Wild Slash. Okay. An Opt. Looks like they're hunting for that last land. Looks like they might have found it. Oh no! Okay, our opponent found the exact card they needed. I mean, it's going to happen. They draw a lot of cards in that deck. But that is the exact card they needed. That helps us. That is a big help to us. Let's go for a Manaweth Sliver into a Predatory Sliver. And that's yield through to the end of the turn. So we get to go with a Gale Rider Sliver next turn, hopefully. I think we really want to find a haste creature off the top. That's what we really need right now. But it's not looking good for us. The good news for us is that even if our opponent does manage to flip this, we're still going to be at a relatively healthy life total. So we're maybe going to be able to redeploy, but it's going to be super close. And this is the exact card they needed to find here, which is really annoying. They had to find exactly Thing in the Ice to get out of this. Yeah, land is not a bad thing to hit here. Let's go Sliver here, and we're going to put the Flying Sliver out, because I probably need to have 3 1-mana spells here to get out of this. So we're going to go ahead and get in for some damage now. Okay, since they didn't do anything, I guess we should probably just deploy our hand to present a Lethal Clock for next turn. At least there's an Arc like Phoenix gone to exile there. I can't imagine my opponent doesn't have, within the next 4 cards, they don't have a whole bunch of non-creature spells. I can't imagine that would happen. Another thing in the ice, okay. That's not good for us. Last card in hand, what is it? What is your last card? Okay, Mana Confluence. At least we get to redeploy afterwards. We attack. What have you got? Oh my god, we got there! That was super close, but it's still a 3-0. That was super close, but at the end of the day, it's still a 3-0. I think we got a bit fortunate there. Our opponents just drawing cards from the top of their library. They did have 1 card in hand, so any instant there would have killed us, because probably kills. I mean, we got to redeploy, but the problem is with the second thing in the ice, this will go down to 2 counters. Yeah, this will go down to 2 counters, and then this would flip, deal 7 points of damage to us. We redeploy, they'll probably be able to flip this second one, and then we're dead. So I think we had to go for the win there, and we got fortunate. Our opponent didn't have the last instant in their hand. But yeah, sometimes the luck goes your way, and we ended up going 3-0 with Slivers in this here video. Unfortunately, it was quite a slow one, because unfortunately the Esper Control guy, I don't know if he has a terrible internet connection or he was thinking way too much. I think he just had a bad internet connection. I was being a bit impatient with him, but we got to play some Pictionary, so life's good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Sliver deck then. And quite frankly, the deck is pretty good relative to how good a Sliver deck should be in this format. It shouldn't be that good, but again, you saw the mana base, the ability to play these good synergistic creatures, which you can't really do much more in other mana bases because of, realistically, you only get Unclaimed Territory and Mana Confluence. I guess there is an ally deck you could play because there is an ally encampment, but this deck went pretty well. It's, you know, it's got the right amount of consistency. It can put power on the board. I would like more 1-drops in the deck, but I don't really want to add more red spells to the deck as well. I don't really want to add more mana dorks either. I think that's probably a bit risky, because then all of a sudden Sliver Hive has more spells it can't cast. But I was pretty impressed, actually. Yeah, the deck is... Blur Sliver was very, very good. Siphon Sliver never really came up, but it could have been good if we were against a red deck or something like that. And yeah, the deck went pretty swish. We played against decks that we shouldn't really have any business against. I mean, Diffusion Sliver wrecked those control decks. Like, if they can't target our Slivers, they're relying on board wipes. Now, I guess Thing in the Ice wasn't technically a board wipe, but it never got to flip. They didn't get the last spell, and, you know, we took the risk in that game 3 with the ley line and the 1-land hand. And again, like I said, in those situations where you know you're up against it, take the risk. You know, it's like, if we mulligan down to even, like, we go down cards, and we've got a clear win condition on our 7 here, we've got a good powerful card in ley line, we've got the land, we need 1 more land, which means there's a 1 in 3 chance we hit our land there. Around about 1 in 3 chance. Probably slightly less than 1 in 3, but it's around about 1 in 3. If we keep mulliganing, those odds probably just get worse and worse and worse. Like, we're going to have to mulligan into, like, a good hand to make it better than the hand we had. So, you know what? When you're in a terrible matchup where our opponent's got loads of removal, a one-sided board wipe, aggro to burn us out, you know, sometimes you've just got to take that risk. Obviously, if it's a matchup where it's the flip side, maybe we're playing into the Slivers match, maybe we're the Thing in the Ice deck, well, then you don't need to take the risk, because a good 6, and you're still miles ahead of a good 7 on your opponent's side. But anyway, the deck performed pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching Slivers today. It's good. I enjoyed it. It's good. It's really fun. You should try Slivers. Take care of yourself, guys. I'll see you next time.